Hey, what's good, barbecue family? It's your boy Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q, and today we're gonna be unboxing the 1500-degree outdoor Bighorn infrared grill. This one will be fun to play with. Come on, check this thing out. Cut the music. It is time for another unboxing, and you see what we are working with here. Another product from the good people over there at Bighorn. We're going to be trying out the old infrared gas grill. Looking forward to this thing right here. Let's get right into it and get it opened up. And getting in here, just cooking out some little things. About 39 pounds. That's probably the whole unit, so not too heavy. So I think this is also something that gets used quite a bit in the outdoor world with camping and everything else. That's the little half unit. That's the full that we got right over there. But we should literally be able to knock out something like a steak or something in a couple minutes flat, as well as you can also use this as a pizza oven. Definitely got it in here pretty secure. Let me get two hands on this and at least take everything out the box. Alright, so we are partially way there. Getting all of this stuff out. At least got most of it out the box. I got my little pizza stone over there. And I think this is like your baffle deflector, your heat deflector. Everything in here is pretty solid. I've seen this thing put together before. It's really quite simple. At the end of the day, but I just kind of stopped midway. I'm about to get the rest of this plastic off. Everything always comes pretty solid, and one thing that you learn when you're kind of playing around with these grills is just getting a feel for what does the metal feel like. One thing I like with Bighorn is I feel like for the price, you actually get a solid quality on everything. I was really impressed at how heavy duty my pizza oven was. So I kind of expect nothing less at this point, but even just kind of initially getting in here, seeing all these parts, while this unit is respectfully priced and something that you can definitely get your hands on without paying an arm and a leg, I feel like quality-wise, you definitely get a good product. With that said, let's get it out the pack. And here we are out the package. The Bighorn, again, does not disappoint, it looks like. Pretty much you got your side shelving units that's over here. This right here is actually how you pick up and hold your racks. You got a couple racks. You can hear that they're pretty solid, so they're not all flimsy or nothing like that. That heat deflecting plate, pretty light, but I mean its job is really just to kind of make things more or less center. I believe this is the plate that sits right here in front, kind of catches your serving stuff as you kind of getting going, along with the tray that goes on the bottom. At the temperatures that this thing gets up to, I always love that they got the decals on here, especially that one on the side with the 1500. I don't know if that makes it safe to still be able to put aluminum foil down there at the bottom. It might actually make it burn up, even though it's all the way at the top where your heat source is coming from. But that would be something that I will probably look into just to kind of make it a little easier on my cleanup. And speaking of that, before I go ahead and put all these components in, one of the first things you got to do is wipe everything out. So just to make life easy, I'm going to do that along the way. So I'm going to wipe out the unit along with the shelving parts, as we're going to be starting to put those in, and this will come together pretty quick. And everything is now wiped off, and now we are ready to do this oh so quick assembly. And the one thing I think I didn't show you before was actually, I think there's two things. One, here's the pizza stone, obviously a little bit smaller than what I got out there in my pizza oven. I'm gonna be leaving that thing just like that because I know I won't be rushing to use that one, so I want to at least keep it intact as much as possible. The temperature knob is one of the other things, obviously super easy to go ahead and get right. And then this little doohickey right here, which you might quite be not understanding exactly what this is. There's an area on the other side. There it is. We actually are going to end up taking this screw out, and this thing here actually will connect there. And basically this ends up being a holder And what this is if you end up having to, there's a automatic ignition on the other side that I'll show you in just a moment. But if that happens to go out or not work for you, this is a match holder. You can hold your match in there and then be able to manually light this thing yourself if you have any issues with the automatic ignition that's right here. So we are going to be adding a battery, AAA, in here to get that going. But first things first, really simple. We're just going to throw in the racks where the or the sides where the racks actually sit in there, and essentially they fall right into the groove slots, and then they'll fall down and lock right in place. Super simple, easy design, but efficient. We're gonna do that on both sides here. There we go, easy enough. The next thing, and I feel like I keep saying, I'm so used to being out there on my pellet grill. I keep thinking of this as a heat deflector plate. This is not actually a heat deflector plate. This is actually a grease deflector. Okay, it sits right here in this tray. This becomes the bottom, and pretty much this is going to help you with flare-ups and anything and prevent any fires from going on in here. And instead of that pooling in one area, this is going to allow that grease to go ahead and fall to one side and eventually kind of stay out the way so you don't actually end up creating a mess up in here. So there's that piece. Other than that, we got our racks, which you can see here. They got the holes where you can actually put these racks in either way and be just fine. Obviously, you want to make sure you get them lined up. They provide you with two. Truthfully, I might only have one in here most of the time, and just the one that I'm gonna cook with, and then keep the other one to the side, so I don't necessarily always have them so beat up. You know, they get tore down pretty quick, I'm sure, like everything else. The handle is right here. I'm also just noticing the back end of this. I don't feel like I've seen in any videos anybody said anything, but not a big deal. But that is a bottle opener for you if you're a person that cares. But basically, you can grab that out of here just like that. And like I said, you see it's not flimsy. This is a nice sturdy shelf that they got here. And while it's solid and heavy, I can feel that it's got a decent heavy dutiness to it. It's not so heavy that, I mean, I can't, like, you know, handle that pretty easy and feel like it's going to be a problem. So that's there. Next, you got this portion. And you can kind of already see where those grooves go. It's just going to kind of sit here for your there you go. I almost think this is like the serving tray, but you think about when you pull this and you open these out. I got meat in here, pardon my reach. I pull this out to check on the steaks, to flip the steaks or whatever. Where does all that juice and everything go? So it's actually smart that they put that there. They gave you a little something to save your table from being destroyed every time you pull something out of there. Obviously that pizza stone also slides and fits directly off in here. But essentially, that's the majority of your assembly as far as the hard things. Traditional, one side's curved, one side's flat. We're going to go ahead and throw the knob on. Boom. It's nice and tight, nice and pretty looking too. Obviously, you have your gas hookup. And then one thing that's cool is this can take a normal size gas tank, like which I have out there on my Blackstone griddle. Or if you got those smaller green tanks, it can also take that. So I actually got one of those from back in the day with a flamethrower that I never used. So I'm going to actually start off with that, see how long that works for me. It'll just kind of give you an idea of what you can do when you're traveling with it and you're not using a full propane tank. And then obviously I got my big boy to kind of fall back on. This right here, you want to unscrew it and it's going to come right out. And then like I said, we're just going to push your AAA battery in. They show you right here that that's what you'll be using. And then we're going to push this right back on top and twist it back on. And then there you go. Now once you push this in later on, that'll be your automatic start. Off, push to turn, just like your normal stove. And pretty much we got this thing set up and put together, other than we need to add this chain on. So let me grab my screwdriver and we'll take this screw out. And that concludes our unboxing of the Bighorn 1500 degree infrared oven here. We pretty much ready to rock. As I look through the instructions, I'm so used to always having to do a little bit of a burn off or something like that. It says that we're good to go. I might go ahead and turn it on anyway. One thing that I will say that I noticed, that I said earlier, and I don't know if maybe that was the smaller unit that I saw people doing reviews on, and maybe that's where I got that from. But it did say that you want to make sure for your gas tank to use the full size 20-pound gas tank that you use with any of your other grills, griddles, anything like that. The big white one, the round one, that's the one that you want to use. So that's what we'll be using on this baby. I'll probably take it outside and give it a little turn on just to make sure everything's going good. And just in case there's any, usually there's some grease and things like that that comes from the manufacturer that you want to just kind of burn off before you get your first cook in there. Make sure that wasn't a sticker. Those are things that I want to make sure of. This unit is supposed to be pretty hot. I know how the pizza oven was, so definitely I would assume where it's taking and touching and saying it's hot is definitely hot, being that that heat runs right along the top. I can imagine that gets pretty hot. I don't think the bottom gets too bad from reviews that I've heard, but we're going to start this thing out there on my stainless steel table. Catch you in about a week. Be sure you tune in for the first cook. And that's a wrap. Make sure you check out this Black Friday sale that they got going on over there at Bighorn. My initial impressions, this unit already looks spotless. I love the look. Great craftsmanship overall with all this good stainless steel that they got here. Can't wait to get this one fired up so we can really see how the cook go. Shouts out to my family, the folks over there at Bighorn. I appreciate you. My boys over there at Black Smoke Barbecue, and you out there in TV land. I'll see you in less than a week and we'll get that first look on the first cook. I'll see you then. Peace.